Brandy, I mentioned earlier there was a little something that I could use your help on. And I know you're not a judgy person, but I'd like you to help us evaluate some of the pictures that came in from last weekend's activities. And just so everybody knows, if you were there this weekend, Michael's okay. He told us this morning that as y'all closed up the walls on the greenhouse, it got really warm in there and he suffered heat stroke. And fortunately, we have a new member, Luke, who knew what to do for that and called help and got Michael taken care of. But clearly, that's scary. But in the end, we know the greenhouse works. It warmed things up. So, you know, as I said, Michael, you're very warm-hearted, and I'm sorry we cooked you beyond that. So, so regarding these pictures, I mean, man, I'm just stunned at how well people listen to you, Brandy. Look at these. Tell us what you see here, Brandy, as an observer of things going on.
I think that they've done job. We've only shown me 3, but it looks pretty good.
Looks pretty good. We got the club logo in there with you know, anybody that could be. I believe that's Marty, but we got some perspective there of what they're working on and multiple workers. How about this one, Brandy?
That works.
That works. We've got you know, they're clearly working together and conversing about what they're doing, and you can still see the project in the foreground there. This just makes me happy. I love, you know, the smile that I can see on Cam's face, even though there's a mask on, and they're clearly engaged in a deep conversation. And we got AJ back there in the background, obscured slightly by the new glass on the greenhouse. I think that's pretty cool. Teamwork right here. I mean, you guys, all the folks that sent me pictures in, you're really capturing the essence of what it is to participate in our projects. New member Kenneth, and I don't recognize the plaid shirt. Anybody know who that was?
Luke.
That's Luke. Okay. Luke, who took charge and saved Michael. So thank you for both being there. New members getting their hands right in it. Those smiles when a job is well done and done. Another capture of close-up action, and I got the Rotarian at work in there. Thanks for wearing that, AJ, I believe. Look at these pictures, Brandy. It's amazing. Thank you for giving that talk a while back. Clearly, folks were listening. And I can't recall who captured this one, but I guess they did a panorama to get the whole inside of it. That's pretty cool. Well done, folks. Anybody who was there want to share a few words of how that was and, you know, how you feel about the end product?
It couldn't have been a better day. The sun was out, obviously shining, and so many people showed up, and I feel like the work went pretty quickly. And I got some feedback from the school already, and they are so appreciative of what we've done so far. So thank you, everybody who was able to participate. And thank you for the opportunity of the club to make something like this happen. So
it was a team effort.
Clearly by the photos, everybody was hands in, hands on, and doing the work of it. I understand we can see in this last picture, is there still need for a door of sorts? Are we building that or sourcing it from somewhere?
Yeah, we'll build it off site.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, well, thank you everybody who participated and planned and got your hands in it. That's impressive.
And just so folks know, that's the site of where there will be an eventual rainwater catchment system as well.
Yes, you can see the garden beds off there outside the greenhouse that we did now, what, a couple years back, I think. And so all said and done with the raised beds and the greenhouse and soon to be the rain catchment system to supply water for that whole operation. That's a fantastic garden with so many learning opportunities for our students who are, you know, arguably more impoverished than most in the district of Peninsula Union School. And to see that there's opportunities for sourcing their own food from relatively inexpensive supplies. I know that one of the instructors there, does things like what to do with that old 2-liter bottle and some seeds, and how to get your own food starts going in your own home. Maybe if you only have one window and no greenhouse, you can still get it done. So it's really encouraging to see teaching essential life skills like that in a real world practical environment. And so our club helping them demonstrate and provide the resources to be able to do that sort of work is it's awesome.
So Ian, I
And
was
I think
there.
we were all very impressed with AJ's skills as far as ordering materials. I was at the end of the job. There was like one piece of polycarbonate, the plastic that's wrapping that and putting it on the roof as well. There was one piece about a foot wide left. So he really budgeted well on that and pulled that all together, the whole project, really.
Ian, I
Great
was
job.
there for a little bit on Saturday, and I pulled some weeds.
Excellent. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, there's no shortage of weeds out there in the sandy loam, and it's basically right next to dune and dune forest. So birds and other animals are constantly bringing in seeds from elsewhere, and some of those things are clearly invasive from the dune areas that get brought over. So staying on top of them is great too. Thank you, Karen. Okay, we have a diversity, equity, and inclusion minute here. We got email, thanks Maggie for forwarding that, yesterday from Black Humboldt, who had taken a summer hiatus while most of the student participants were out of town. Black Humboldt is volunteer run, and they work to create safe spaces and positive representation of the Black community in Humboldt. And they achieve it by creating safe spaces for BIPOC people, hosting culturally significant events, supplying resources for the community, and supporting BIPOC businesses. If you haven't been to blackhumboldt.com, please go. There's a very flushed out and thorough list of Black and Indigenous and people of color owned businesses, mainly because they're Black Humboldt, focusing on Black owned businesses. And I got to say, there's some great stuff that you probably haven't tried yet. There's several new businesses in Eureka that provide different sorts of food that we haven't had access to here in Humboldt before. And I encourage you to try those. But what they're up to at the moment is they'd like to offer some back to school kits for low-income BIPOC community members. And there is opportunity to participate in that either individually or as a club. So I forwarded this to our community services and finance committees. But as individuals, there's plenty of choices, things to do here. You could sponsor a student financially. You could donate time and help them distribute the gifts, the gift bags. And if you have supplies, office and school supplies available to help fill those bags, or BIPOC focused storybook, we all know where to source those now that we did the library project last year. Plenty of opportunities to help out there. So I encourage you to go to blackhumboldt.com and join in and help out as you can. That's part of our commitment to our BIPOC community, is to find out what their needs are and just go participate, show up. It's about showing up. Any questions or comments on there? Anybody engaged in this?
Is there a specific time when they're going to be giving those out? It might have been on the previous slide, but I could have missed it.
They are planning right now. So the first objective is to get the supplies and fill the bags. So again, follow on blackhumboldt.com or follow on Facebook, and you will be in the loop. And as I get further updates, I'll let everybody know too. Thank you. And speaking of disadvantaged and challenged youth, Sarah, you had a little bit to share about what we're doing with transitional age youth. I understand they need some business related clothing. Is that correct?
Yes, the transitional age youth clothing closet is now accepting donations again. So if you can email me or call me, I can schedule a time and then bring that into the Tay Center. It doesn't always have to be business related clothes. It can be any kind of clothes for people of any gender. So
Fantastic. Sarah, I've got that drop off for you today. I'll bring it over to your office.
awesome. Thank you.
Excellent. And Jessica, you wanted to say a little bit about fellowship. Man, I got your report for the board, and it looks like you guys have been active in spite of COVID. So thank you.
Maybe, I don't know. We did have a meeting this last week, or a week ago. And so we had some conversations about what fellowship looks like in this current time, in this current environment, the Delta variant being no joke. And it's kind of scary to try to bring people together just in a fellowship capacity. So one of the comments that we really wanted to encourage people to do is to look for fellowship opportunities with some of the fundraising and hands-on work projects that many of the other committees are already putting together, and take your fellowship spirit into those experiences. We have been trying to plan a trip to the zoo to do the skywalk together, and unfortunately the zoo has stopped doing outdoor group undertakings there. So in lieu of that, we have a few things that we are working on, sort of more from a virtual perspective. One is probably for the end of September, maybe first week in October, we'll do a compassion meditation like we did last year. I can't quite remember when it was last year, but Charlie led us in a really sweet, really touching group meditation. And so that will be coming. We'll let you know the date as soon as Charlie and I set that up. And then also, we just thought that maybe we would make a couple of just drop in, have a little holiday cheer with your Rotary friends over Zoom, low pressure, easy. And so, and in coordination with a couple of the holidays that we have coming up. So Halloween is on the 31st, it's on a Sunday. And Chris and Maggie are working to put together a little Zoom fellowship, a little costume fellowship maybe for Sunday afternoon at some point. So we'll get you more information about that as that comes clear. And then at Christmas time, on the 23rd of December, we'll have a little holiday party, I think also. Bob and Maggie are working out those details too. So those are sort of some fellowship things that the committee is working on that's coming together. Oh, and then the last thing is with regard to Charter Night. So we have set a date for Charter Night. I think it's the 6th of February, whatever that Sunday is, that is that particular weekend. We have been tentatively planning to have it at the Plaza Grill with Elizabeth catering it. Likely it could be a vaccinated folks event. We don't know. It's not until February. If we have to punt it down until April or May when we can try to find something to do outside, we'll do it at that point. So that's still a little up in the air, but those are the things that are going on from the fellowship committee in terms of things that we're working on. If any of all of you have suggestions or ideas or things that you would think that we should pursue as fellowship opportunities for the club, please contact me or anyone that's part of the fellowship committee. Those folks include Romy, Bob, Chris, Maggie, Tammy, Vanessa, and Charlie. I think that's the whole fellowship committee. So yeah. And apologies if I left anybody out. So, okay, there's my report. Ian, how's that?
That's fantastic. Thank you, Jessica. And I hope everybody who can participates in your Zoom/online arranged events. We are disconnected. That's just how it is right now. One thing you touched on there, possibly a vaccinated only event for the Charter Night. Just so everybody knows, the board is discussing how we handle in-person activities going forward until the until we're clear of this pandemic. So vaccinations are part of our discussion for this coming Tuesday meeting. So yet another great thing to listen in on and get a sense of where we're going. We do have extra time today, so I'm going to go ahead, and I see that there's a shout out from Brandy regarding AEDC and California Fire Relief. You want to tell us about that?
AEDC has partnered with Cameo to help with technical assistance through the application process of the California Relief Grant. The California Relief Grant is for COVID impacted businesses throughout the state. Of course, all businesses have been impacted, but you really need to show that there is a change in your 2020 gross incomes for quarters 2 and 3. You had to have been actively in business since June 1st of 2019. You need to have made more than $1,000, but not more than $2.5 million to be eligible for the grant. So.
Thanks for that. And I'm guessing contextually that AEDC is at Arcata Economic Development
Corporation.
Okay.
And even though Arcata's in the name, we're located in Eureka now. We do cover 6 different counties, and we do more than just technical assistance on the grant. We do some small business lending, some 504 loans, some microloans. We have facilitated some of the PPPs. So we do a little
Excellent.
bit of
Thank you, Brandy. I know that a lot of businesses have needed and depend on that help. So that's great work.
Thank you.
Carol, I recall earlier, or maybe it was last night, that the hours blend together at this point, but you wanted to share a little bit about what's going on with some of our land trust activities, Trinidad and maybe the coastal dunes.
Yeah, since we have a little extra time, it's a fun time to give an update. If you can let me share screen, I can share a couple of things that are coming up. I work at the Trinidad Coastal Land Trust. I'm also on the board at Friends of the Dunes. So there's 2 fun things coming up. Am I able to share my screen?
Absolutely.
Okay, hold on just a moment. Let's see if folks can see this. Yes. Not everybody realizes that all those beautiful offshore rocks off the coast of Trinidad are part of the California Coastal National Monument. And the National Monument goes up and down the California coast and includes like 20,000 rocks that are there. And Trinidad is designated as what we call a gateway community, which means it's a great place to enjoy, a gateway to the Coastal National Monument. So we are having an appreciation weekend, and in the past we've had a festival, but of course we don't want to gather large numbers of people in one place. This will be strictly outdoors, small groups, and it's dispersed over a weekend. And so in very small groups. So this shows a quick schedule of what we'll be doing. And being outdoors, anytime we can keep at least 6 feet distance, we won't require masks, but otherwise we will. And we're having mini kayak tours, and this is especially targeted to families who normally wouldn't have a chance to get out on a kayak, just in a very close section of Trinidad Bay with all kinds of certified leaders, and that's reservations only. So if you know families who would really benefit from that really unique experience, they should contact us at the Land Trust. We're also doing a series of bilingual birding walks. We've had great partnerships with Ciencio para Todos and Cuna, and that's been really fun for all different ages. The Rancheria is going to have fishing off the pier for families and kids. The Memorial Lighthouse will have a little information center, what's happening there. And there's Trinidad Arts Night. And so on Sunday, we'll also be part of the California Coastal Cleanup, which is happening all month, but we're going to do our part at Moonstone and Huda Point on Sunday. Some seabird watching, and then some activities up at Sumeg Village. You might have heard that Patrick's Point State Park may soon be renamed Sumeg State Park. So anyway, if you want to get more details, just go to our website. So I don't know if anyone has any questions about that. we do lots of activities that help connect folks to the coast up in Trinidad and conserve, you know, a lot of those areas like Huda Point and Topona Point. So it's a really neat opportunity. And then the next thing I wanted to share, and I'll have to share screen again. I am, hopefully you can see this. We are in that virtual mode. Oh, I see Romy has a question first. Oh, nope, you just have your hand up. Okay.
Well, it's to say something after about something else.
All right. I'm on the board at Friends of the Dunes, and so maybe some of you have participated in the past. We've had Wine by the Sea out at our nature center, but instead this year we're having Wine by the Screen. Actually, it's our second year of Wine by the Screen, and this supports all the cool activities. This is where we do our Adopt a Highways out of the nature center, but this is going to be October 2nd. And we will, some of what we're going to do is you can order online a pour and restore care package with local wines and local treats, chocolate, cheese, crackers. That's kind of fun. You can, last year we sold out of our pour and restore packages, which was neat. Brett Schuler, excuse me, will be cooking up and offering a to-go salmon dinner with fresh seasonal vegetables and potatoes. So if you're looking for an option and you don't want to cook and you want to support the dunes, and very affordable, $20. And then we have the spin drifters actually played at the nature center. And so we'll have a free, you can sign in online, and while you're eating your dinner or drinking your wine, and enjoy the spin drifters with some live art painting by Sean Griggs and Jane Cipra. And then we will have some presentations online that you can get to on our Facebook page. And of course, we'll be launching an online auction, all kinds of cool things that'll be offered online. One of them is a really amazing, stunning painting by Jim McVicker. And that'll go on for a week. So anyway, all this helps support Friends of the Dunes that's working to conserve those dunes, and also the new Samoa dunes and wetlands. And actually we're working at linking up all these dunes in the area. It's like over 1,600 acres now are conserved for public access. So any question? Romy, did you have a question or something you wanted to say? Okay, all right. All right, thanks for letting me.
I believe you had a question about what is Suleg, and that is the indigenous and native name that Yurok peoples have used for that location since the beginning of human time here. So,
right.
If you go to Patrick's Point State Park's website, you will find a link there to comment on your feelings about naming that, and I encourage you to do so. It's very important for our state organizations to hear from the community surrounding, and hopefully, you know, in recognition of the fact that the tribe has been here and always will be, that I think it's wholly appropriate to rename that site. And there are concerns I won't get into about the current name and why that particular name is currently inappropriate and really has been for a while. So thank you for considering putting your voice into that. I saw a couple. Go ahead.
I just want to add one more comment that I never was fully aware of this until I worked for the Trinidad Coastal Land Trust. There are actually 4 federally recognized tribes that have people of Yurok descent. So when we say the Yurok tribe, that's just one tribe of 4. And so I've kind of learned to say the Yurok people because it's, there are lots of different Yurok villages that were along the coast and up the river. So that was something that I learned by being more involved up in Trinidad.
Thank you for that, Carol. That's an excellent point. Thank you. I saw a few hands go up while we've been talking here. Michael, and go ahead. Sorry, you muted, Michael.
Okay, just real quick. I have had the pleasure of sitting down with Joyce Sunberg, who is in her 89th year, and interviewing her. I have 18 hours so far on tape. I've also had the pleasure of going with Walt Laura to Sumig and watching he supervise his crew in reconditioning various aspects of the village and the buildings and so on and so forth. So the local native groups, including Trinidad Rancheria and the Yurok as a whole, are doing everything they can to recondition and make their culture, et cetera, known to all of us. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, Dustin, since you're here, I know you missed last week, and that's okay, but I just wanted to give you a quick shout out. Thank you for contributing to and joining the Polio Plus Society. And I think you'll be happy to know that we have another week gone by with no new wild polio virus cases in the world. We're counting up the weeks, and we're very hopeful, fingers crossed, because we have World Polio Day coming up toward the end of October, and what a celebration it will be if we're still polio free by then. So, you know, everybody who has joined that society and contributes to the foundation in their own way, thank you for keeping that going. We're going to come back to what I had actually prepared this morning, and I really appreciate everybody jumping in with you know, community interest and personal stories, because you know, our program canceled today unexpectedly, right first thing this morning. Maggie, I see you waving there.
Yeah, hi. I just want you to call on Romy before you go any further.
Thank you, Maggie. This is why we co-host, right?
Thank you, Maggie.
Hi, Romy.
Before we get to that, I was inspired by Jessica's call out to everybody. On behalf of Fellowship, I would like to do the same on behalf of Diversity and Equity and Inclusion Committee. Please consider joining Barbara, Craig, Rebecca, Amanda, Dick, Maggie, Michael, and I. There have been such great examples. Thank you, Carol, for talking about the Yurok people and increasing our awareness. Thank you, Maggie and Ian, for talking about what Black Humboldt is doing and our opportunity to assist kids, BIPOC children in our community, and help them get off to a strong start in their education. They've just changed the director of Black Humboldt. That's why there's been a little delay in helping kids at the start of school. But boy, those school supplies could be used anytime. I just want to share that we have kind of a three-pronged focus, collaborating with every committee. And that's how we've done things like being a major sponsor of welcome bags for BIPOC students at Humboldt State University and College of the Redwoods. We even included Del Arte. So when new college students come to the community, this time we filled 200 bags that will get them off to a great start, but most importantly, that tell them this community welcomes you and appreciates you, and we're glad you're here. With these kinds of collaborations, we also bought hundreds of books that represent people of color to round out our collections in our local schools. We were a major sponsor of a youth-supported Native student conference for Native students all around the region called Success in Both Worlds. And these kinds of things are happening because we're continually looking for those collaboration opportunities. So we're collaborating both with all of our committees and building partnerships in the community. And then we also are doing education, these DEI minutes, diversity, equity, and inclusion minutes. And I want to send out an invitation to all of you right there. If you are exposed to some great talk that makes you think about perspective, about privilege, about our intrinsic biases, if something like that, if you're exposed to something where you say, wow, that was enlightening, please talk to one of us on the committee, join our committee, and really, everyone is on our committee. because that is the third mission for us, is awareness building and public relations. And when people see that Rotary Club Arcata Sunrise is doing all these incredibly diverse service opportunities, we're reaching out. Most recently, we're talking about doing service in the Gentoli area, working with CUNA, which is Colectivo Unidos de Norte de Arcata. So it's serving a community that often isn't a recipient of service opportunities in Arcata. And so we're just looking to diversify the outreach, the service we're doing, to reach more and more diverse parts of our community. And when people see us doing that work, innately those partnerships will, in the end, diversify our club. So join us.
Thank you, Romy, and everybody who's involved on the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. Again, this is a new committee to our club this year, and it has made an impact in a positive way every day in everything we do. Let's move to fundraising. You know, last week we had a good long talk about the status of fundraising, and you know, you all warmed my heart and eased my mind by stepping right up. So Claire, if you would tell us a little bit about, do you have a meeting date for an initial planning for the Oktoberfest? And I know that you need a co-chair.
Yes, we need a co-chair, and I'm looking at my calendar next week, and I am packed every evening except Monday. So I'm hoping that those who are interested in participating in this event could meet Monday at 5:30 via Zoom or Google Meets to just start planning. We need to set a date, the price, the menu, think about ticket sales, get committees for cooking and bagging things up and cleaning up and purchases and such. So that would be awesome if we could meet Monday at 5:30.
Excellent. And when you say co-chair, I want to comment on that because there's need in the next slide as well. One of my challenges that I put forth to the club at when we did our firesides was, if you're the only person who knows how to do something, or find yourself as the only person who is leading things either consistently or year over year, it's time to mentor somebody. But that depends on people stepping up and saying, I'd like to learn, show me how. So please take the opportunity. You know, our folks that step up as leaders are excellent mentors and teachers. And this is an opportunity for anyone in our club to learn something new and be able to further then mentor others so that more of us can do these things over time. So please do consider stepping in and taking that opportunity as a mentee to Claire in this case. And I'm so glad to see that you have so many who stepped right in to help. But please, this week and through the weekend, if you can step in as a co-chair, doesn't mean you're going to do all the work. You can see you've got a list of people there to help, but somebody needs to lead. And, you know, Claire and her husband Hyder have both committed. Hyder's not even in our club and he's all in. So please don't leave the entire burden just to Claire and Hyder. Thank you. Next up, we have Lisa at home, and yes, it's a month beyond Oktoberfest, but we need a co-chair, and we need you. Lisa, tell us what you've got planned. I know you have a meeting set. That's a good start.
So yeah, so this year we're getting started a little bit earlier than last year, just because last year we weren't sure what we were going to do because of COVID. And thank you, Ian, for stating about chair and co-chair and people stepping up, because it's really important that people do that. And, you know, we have a lot of new club members this year in the last couple of years, and it's great to get involved. And Taste the Holidays has always been just a wonderful event. I've been doing it, I think this is going to be my 6th year. So it'd be great if I could get somebody else that I'm mentoring and have them step in. But I'm going to set up a meeting for the 27th at 6 o'clock tentatively, and it'll be Zoom. And we have just lots of tasks that will have to be done. It won't be as high as as many tasks as we do when we do Taste the Holidays at the community center. Vanessa's been gracious enough to say that we can still do the curbside pickup at her place. I'm sending a letter out to all the vendors so that I can find out how many are going to participate. And then we'll just start working on the publicity, the flyers, the ticket sales, who's going to do sign up genius. You know, there's all these different tasks that need to be done. And it's nice when people can step in and they can take over those tasks. So one person or 3 people aren't left to hold everything. Last year we had great response with the bags that we sold. So we're going to try to do the same thing this year and make it even more successful. I think we're going to maybe go up 50 bags. I was thinking 300, but I think we might just do 250. And then the day of the event, it's important that people are there it's like an assembly line. We just pack these bags, people drive through. It's really fun. It's fun. So please sign up, or I'll send an email out to everyone. And if you're interested, you're welcome. And I'd love to have you join Taste the Holidays. So.
Thank you, Lisa. And I know every time I call for a raise of hands, I'm still learning, but I didn't capture everybody's name who volunteered for Taste last week. So if you would, please put your name in the chat and let us know so that Lisa has some focus points of contact here. And that will be a great help. Claire and Lisa, if you need access to extended Zoom meetings, I can get you set up with our club account to host those sessions. If you need to go longer than the 40 minutes on the free account, be happy to do that. And I would hope and expect that by this time next week, we have co-chairs for both Taste of the Holidays at Home and Oktoberfest. Claire, did you raise your hand?
Cam is volunteering to be co-chair. Thank you, Cam.
Thank you, Cam. So we have a chair and a co-chair for Oktoberfest, and it looks like we have a initial committee flushed out. So let's focus the rest of us. There's 39 on the call right now. Many hands make light work, so please get in touch with Lisa and let her know you've got her back. And I know that you can learn a lot from Lisa. She's very organized. She even has a binder from past years of Taste, and this is an event that is ready to be taken on and just move forward with. So thank you both for your organizational skills and willingness to step up. Nick, do we have a raffle today? I missed Nick there. Well, if not, oh, there you are.
I'm entering the last entry right now, so we're all set. All right. So the raffle is $110 today, and we'll see who is the lucky winner. All right, so we have Ed. First winner. Let's see what you got. $5. Pay you through Venmo, and one more. And Ed again. Wow. All right. So Ed bought a lot of tickets, in case you were wondering.
Ed also won something last night at the Chamber Mixer.
Awesome.
He's on a roll.
It's on a roll. Now it's the time to get a lottery ticket or something. It's not gambling at this point because you just keep winning. You got to ride it. All right. So Ed, I'll pay you through Venmo, and good luck for everybody else next week. It'll be $120.
Thank you, Nick. Hey, quick shout out to Brandon there. Brandon, I saw you join the meeting, and I just wanted to get a quick check-in from you. I understand you may be a great northerner now in the region. Something about Del Norte?
Yeah, you can see kind of in my backyard right there. That's Del Norte County. You wouldn't even know. Yeah, I'm back up here for the time being. My parents are up here, and my wife's parents are up here, and I've told a couple people, I think, you know, whether it's conversation or meetings, you know, we want to have more kids. So I didn't realize how hard it was to be a parent. I don't think anybody ever does, no matter how many books you read. And I tell you what, it's nice to have somebody, hey, can you just watch the kid for 20 minutes while we go to the grocery store? And I realized my son has lived more in COVID than out of COVID. And so, you know, there's things that I was like, wow, you know, it's like, no wonder it was so hard. You know, it's like it's not necessarily our fault, but between distance and COVID and all these things, you can't really find a babysitter. So yeah, that's kind of why we're up here. I actually still work in McKinleyville. I will probably always work there. It's a great place. I love my career. I drive Ian kind of like Zach. Me and Zach are really good friends. You're one of your employees. And actually I talk to him all the time about the road and how his drive is. And actually we're going to have lunch up here one of these days in Crescent City, but he goes about 3 days a week and I go about 2 to 3 days a week. Just kind of depends on the week. And with COVID and Zoom, it's amazing what you could do. So my eyes have been opened that you could actually work from home and still commute in, you know, the best of both worlds. So it's actually working out pretty good.
Excellent. Well, congratulations. I'm glad you're still with us here, even though you're remote up there, so to speak. Quick shout out to your brother. We're really happy to have him at Advanced. He's great. He's learning and doing everything that we ask of him and more, just taking charge of his own career. And it is a career. So thanks for sharing.
He loves
with
it.
us.
Yeah, every time he talks about it, he loves it. He's going to install our new one up here.
Fantastic. That's great. Yeah. That's great. We missed our presentation. Unfortunately, Emily's hurting this morning. Her back kind of seized up on her, but we'll hear from her again. I saw, and I do see in the chat here, this is great. I see a lot of people stepping up. Lisa, I will capture all the chat before I close out the meeting today so that I can send you those names. Thanks for everybody for stepping up.
And I've written them down also, so.
Okay, great. Thank you. So without further ado, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I just wonder if, I'm wondering how our district governor is doing in his, now that he's at it for 2.5 months, wondering if he has anything to share with us.
Maggie.
Could have asked me at 7 o'clock. I could have taken the meeting over.
That's why we didn't.
I know. What do we have? Like 5 minutes left, Maggie?
Go for it.
You know, I'll say we did actually make a decision this week. The one big thing that's coming up is we decided to take the just a conference virtual. And you'll get an email about this if you have registered. You'll get a full refund and you'll get a kickback from the hotel as well. The writing was on the wall. Just COVID is the big factor still, and people just don't feel comfortable being together in that kind of a space for that amount of time, which is absolutely fine. And you know, just we kept seeing registration drop and drop and drop. You know, July was a different story. Everything looked, you know, future looked pretty bright as far as opening back up, but things changed fast, and you know, there's still a lot of uncertainty in front of us. So that being said, we made the decision to pull the trigger and go virtual with it. What that means, though, is because the event this year was going to be the Business and Ethics Awards, and then the foundation celebration, and then the district conference, all bundled into one weekend. So those are now going to be at either 2 or 3 different events. The foundation will 100% be separate, and then we'll see if the virtual celebration involves the Business and Ethics Awards and the district conference combined, or if those end up being 2 separate things. I kind of have a feeling it'll be one event, but you'll hear more once Doug and the planning team has that solidified. But we just made the call on, what was it, I think Monday or Tuesday night, we got together and that was it. So so look for that, and that's the world we live in right now, and that's fine. It's just it will be virtual this year, and then I'll be doing my conference up here in May 20th and 21st at the River Lodge. So I was going to wait until Doug got his stuff out of the way, so I wasn't kind of, you know, if people had to pick between 2, you know, are they going to go down his, or are they going to stay up here? So I was going to wait until his thing was kind of done. And now that he's going virtual, I can feel comfortable. I'm not probably not back and say that we're going to do it up here in May. And I'll let you all know a lot more about that in the coming months. So that's cool. And fingers crossed that we can do that one in person. If things are the way they are, I'll go virtual as well. Just kind of, but hopefully we can do it in person. And I've got River Lodge set at this point, and so we'll go forward and hopefully get to have a super fun celebration there, and get to see everyone around the district and have a little fun ourselves. So that's it. That's all that's all the time I'm gonna take. So I won't stop. I promise you. I can keep going.
That was great. And how about, we've got a couple more minutes. How about just a little insights? How are you feeling as you meet up with clubs remotely and or in person? How are the clubs doing district wide?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because the focus of my visit is club strength, because we don't really know. You don't really know how the clubs are going to come out of this this whole ordeal. And there's a lot happened in the last year and a half. So and clubs actually for the most part are gaining a lot of new members, and they're feeling like this experience with their core has actually like solidified their relationship with each other, and their what's important to them about Rotary, and then what they're getting involved with in their communities. It's really inspiring to be meeting with the presidents and getting to know these club members, because they're doing a lot of stuff and have a lot of passion for it. And this could have went a lot more sideways than it did. We weren't. I'm surprised more clubs haven't faltered and kind of crumbled because of it, but it's the exact opposite. They're a lot stronger and a lot more motivated. And like I said, I've done a ton of member inductions, and it's just a really great thing and a really inspiring thing to see. So that's the good news of the week.
Thank you. We all need that. Good news is great to hear, and we know you have a broader view of what's going on in Rotary in our region. So thank you for sharing that, Dustin. And Maggie, thanks for piping up and creating that opportunity on the spot. Appreciate it.
And thanks, Dustin, for serving as our district governor. That's an immense task, and we're very proud of you.
Thank you, Dick. It's flying by. We're encroaching on October, so here we go.
All right, I do have a parting thought today. It relates to every time we turn around and through all the work of our committees, it seems like there are so many things that we could do for our community, and it's kind of, where do we start? So last night this one came to mind. Let me get that back up on screen. So many in need. How can we help everyone? Start with one today. Thank you, everybody, for all you do in service to our communities. We are going to be strong through this. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.